I did about 500 fantasy football drafts from April to about yesterday. And I can tell you that the drafts that are happening today are the wildest drafts that I have seen the entire year. The reason for this is everybody is drafting as if week one is the only thing that matters. I am sure that you saw the report today that yes, Jaylen Warren, he signed an extension. Yes, Jaylen Warren is going to be the starting running back over Caleb Johnson week one. I mean, hell, I actually just went through and recorded a video of my week one running back rankings that will come out tomorrow. And I'll let you know, week one, yes, I have Jaylen Warren ranked ahead of Caleb Johnson because he's going to be the starter week one. However, you should not be going through and drafting your entire fantasy football team for week one. We need to make sure that we are looking at the long-term upside with these players. So for this draft, I'm going to assume that I actually am able to get some pretty damn strong values. And again, in these underdog tournaments, those values for weeks 15, 16, and 17 in the fantasy football playoffs are going to be so damn important. And I know we got a lot of people already ready to ask for the Jaylen Warren outlook because again, yes, you do get the extension and he looks to be the starting running back week one. It wasn't even crazy money. Like it was a 3-year deal, but if you look at the actual dollars behind it, it's $12 million guaranteed. Like, let's go ahead and let's pull up flockfantasy.com and just see what Jaylen Warren's been for the past 3 years. McCaffrey goes. This is also a massive change that's happened as of late where Christian McCaffrey now gets drafted out of Justin Jefferson. You saw this in the draft yesterday. But dear God, these... Like, I almost wish that I did not do any of the drafts in April and May because I feel like the drafts that are happening right now are so much easier than the drafts we were doing back then. But like we go through and we look at Jaylen Warren. Last year was the RB 41 in points per game. Are we sure that Najee Harris was that much better than Caleb Johnson was going to be? I don't know. So we'll see what happens in this draft. But again, like some of these players that are good week one projections are steaming up a crazy amount. And we are hopefully going to be able to take advantage and hopefully going to be able to get some values. But if you are just coming in, please, if you haven't already, go down there and drop a like on this live stream. I live streamed for 5 hours earlier today answering your fantasy football questions. And we're still back for live stream tonight with some drafts. Subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. I'm going to be live streaming every single day until Christmas, and hit the bell next to the subscribe button if you want to actually be able to come out to these drafts with us. But let's see, we got Brock Bowers off the board at pick 15. Ashton Ginty goes at 16. And let's move this down. And we get Achane. I mean, I'm surprised that we still get Achane. This is freaking ridiculous. Again, people are drafting Achane as if you need to be really concerned about what we have considering the calf injury. They told us all along that Achane was going to be good to go week one, and this dude was at practice today. Like, again, Shefty tweeted out, Devon Achane, who has been dealing with the calf injury, is returning to practice today, is on track to play on Sunday. How are we getting Achane at 16? This is incredible. And again, if you are new here, these are Underdog Best Ball drafts. It's not going to be a regular fantasy football league. You don't submit your starting lineup at the end of every single week. It's automatically done for you. If I take Quentin Johnston in the very last round of this draft and he randomly has a week with 2 receiving touchdowns, he'll automatically slide into my starting lineup. This is a flock tournament on Underdog Fantasy that they were nice enough to set up for all of us. Here it's a $10 buy-in, $10,000 to first place, $5,000 to second place, $4,000 to third place, $3,500 for fourth, all the way down the line. How you turn $10 into $10,000 is you got to be the number 1 scoring team in your 12-team draft, and you'll advance to the fantasy football playoff tournament, where in week 15 you go up against one person. If you beat them, in week 16 you go up against another person, and if you beat them in week 17, it's a 100-person final, and if you beat them, that's how you turn $10 into $10,000. If you get second place, $10 into $5,000, and all the way down the line. But let's see what we are going to get now at pick 31. And again, I mean, starting Achane Jefferson shouldn't be possible. Jaden Daniels goes 29. We're going to get one of Tyreek Hill or Kyron Williams here in this draft. Jay Sherman ahead of us. I'm assuming that they're going to go ahead and they're going to take a receiver. They started with McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs, so I'd be surprised if we saw them go with a wide receiver here. I'm sorry, a running back here over a receiver. So they go Tyreek. We're going to go ahead. We will take Kyron Williams, and this is going to lock us into a wide receiver with our following pick. But again, if you're not already drafting on Underdog, this is the time to get on it because these drafts have been wild. And again, because there's no time commitment at all during the season, it's not going to replace your main fantasy football league, just some extra fun on the side. And that's how I'm able to draft hundreds of teams every offseason. So I won $150,000 on Underdog back in the day. And if you use code FLOCK, you are going to be getting a 50%. I'm sorry, that was the old promo. The new promo is way better. Use code FLOCK after you play your first $5, which there's a $5 draft tournament out right now that we're going to do in this live stream. You're going to get $50 added into your account. And if you got the season pass on flockfantasy.com, go over to and doesn't matter if you've been on Underdog for 4 years with us drafting. This is available for anybody. If you got the season pass on flockfantasy.com or your annual mother flocker, go fill out the Google form on the site. You're going to get an extra $10 added to your Underdog account. And Underdog this week is posting the craziest amount of pick'ems. They always do this for NFL kickoff. And this is why I'm going to be so annoying with you this week about it, because this is the week that it matters most. You get a gimme pick on Thursday, free pick, Saquon Barkley, half a total yard, higher, lower, a 50% profit boost token on Thursday, a 50% profit boost token on Friday, a 100% profit boost token on Saturday, additional pick'ems Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and they're going to allow us to have custom flock pick'em packs that we can all tail together on the app. Insane. Again, I'm going to leave the link in the description, comment section, and live chat where it says draft with us here, and use code FLOCK so you get all the pick'em promos. And you get $50 added into your account after you play the first 5. And then if you got the season pass, make sure you go fill out the Google form on flockfantasy.com. You'll get an extra $10 added into your Underdog account. But let me see. Devontae Adams goes 41. We'll take Garrett Wilson. Again, we were locked and loaded into a wide receiver here regardless. Week 1, Garrett Wilson's going to suck. You have to play the Steelers, and that game has the lowest over-under of any game in the NFL, week 1. Brandon says, did they give you a timetable on the $10 dropping into the account after filling out the form? So I am going to have to download all the Underdog usernames from that form and send them a CSV of it, and then they'll add to it there. I am waiting to do that. Again, they're doing us a massive favor by, they're literally just agreeing to lose a bunch of money so it can help with us getting people to sign up to the season pass on our site. So they're doing us a massive favor. I'm not trying to annoy them about this and send it to them every single day. So I'm going to give everybody about a couple weeks to see the announcement that you get the free $10. Just go ahead and put the Underdog username in the fill out that Google form. And then I'm going to wait a couple weeks, and then I will send them that CSV with all the Underdog usernames. And then they'll go ahead and they'll run a script and add $10 into the accounts from there. So it's going to take a couple weeks for that $10. The $50 that if you're new and you play 5, it should get added to your account immediately. But that $10 is going to take a little bit of time. And yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. Brandon says $10. $10 sounds good. Thanks. Thank you, my guy. And again, I know it'd be ideal if we could do it right away, but they're doing us such a massive favor by it that I'm not trying to annoy them every single day, because hopefully they'll do it with us next year again, which we'll see. And I don't want to annoy them every day. That way next year when I ask them to do it again, they're like, no, it's too much work for us. Okay, let's move this over. We'll take Breece. Actually, no, I'm not going to take Breece. We're going to take Devonta Smith. I like the idea of going with Breece to pair up with Garrett Wilson and maybe making a consolidated bet. What if the Jets offense isn't horrible? It probably is. But again, what if it isn't? We turn $10 into $10,000. But Smith here is my favorite wide receiver in round 5. And we already have Achane and Kyron at running back. And in these Underdog best ball drafts, it's going to be very important to fill out your wide receiver room before they dry up. Okay, Chuba Hubbard off the board at 58. And your regular redraft league, I'd recommend you going with the running back here over Devonta Smith. But Underdog, you have to start 3 wide receivers, and these guys dry up quickly. And yeah, Girth Squad says Jalen Warren season. I know everybody's excited about Jalen Warren. And I'm not even a big Caleb Johnson guy. But like, it's just like we get to the point where everybody's thinking about week 1. And in these drafts, they've completely like ignored the long-term upside and just started thinking about like, okay, well, is this player healthy? Diggs goes 63. Eric says this rookie class seems elite. The running back class this year is so much better than the running back class and really since like 2020. The 2020 running back class was a little bit disappointing when it's all said and done. But coming out, like there were a bunch of really good prospects. Like obviously the best draft class that everybody's going to remember is going to be the 2017 class. That's when you had Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, which my brother actually met Dalvin Cook a couple days ago after the FSU win. He goes to FSU. But again, you had Leonard Fournette, you had Christian McCaffrey, you had Dalvin Cook, you had Austin Eckler, you had Aaron Jones. Who else did you have? You had Alvin Kamara. You had James Conner. Like the 2017 running back class was insane. So I don't think we can say that this year's 2017. I think this year is a little more reminiscent to me of 2020, where that running back class was very good. Definitely better than like what we had in like 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. We had like a 5-year stretch of just bad running back classes. Okay, Jacoby Myers goes 71. And we're going to take Rome Odunze here. I think Rome's a little more exciting in Underdog Best Ball drafts. And here for the Flock tournament, actually, Rashee Rice is a little less exciting because in the Flock tournaments, you do have to be the #1 scoring team through the first 14 weeks to advance to the tournament at the very end. So I think there we're going to opt to go with Rome over Rice. If it was Best Ball Mania where you just have to be a top 2 scoring team in your 12-team draft, I would have taken Rice for the upside in the final 3 weeks. Okay, Tyler Warren goes 77. Let's move this over. I know who I want. Let's see if we get him. Jay Sherman goes Mahomes, so we're going to get Sam Laporta here. Again, if this was Best Ball Mania and we are seeing 2 teams advance out of the 12-team draft, I'm going to take Jordan Addison, but here in this tournament, maybe a little bit tougher to eat the 0 points that you're going to be getting through the first 3 weeks. Okay, Aaron Jones goes 81. Yeah, I saw all the Belichick memes. I have not watched any of the TCU game or the UNC game. That's the same game, but whenever I took the dog out between my last live stream and this one, what's it called? I looked at the score, then I went to Twitter and searched Bill Belichick and just was looking at all the memes. Khalil Shakir goes 86. Yeah, Jalen Warren here off the board at 85 does indeed go ahead of Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson used to go in like the beginning of the 6th round of these Underdog drafts. Jaden Reed goes 87. We have such a good team with Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, Rome at wide receiver, Achane and Kyron at running back, and Sam Laporta at tight end. I like our squad, to be honest. JCM off 88. I got our plan A and I got our plan B. Yeah, we're going to take Caleb Johnson. I'm sorry. I understand that Jalen Warren's the starting running back week 1. But also at the end of the day, I'm going to be drafting to try to have the highest ceiling I possibly can in the final 3 weeks. And I think Caleb Johnson could potentially take over as a starting running back in this backfield. Okay. Dipset just says, anyone pay the $34? Is there anybody in this chat that bought the $34 season pass? And if so, do you want to let Dipset know what you thought of it? We got Kyler Murray at 94. I got Mason's hottest sister out here. Congrats on getting first place in the power rankings, my friend. Okay, so Kelsey goes. The moratorium says, why is Jefferson going so low? I might redraft league tomorrow with a 101 and may take Jefferson. Do not do that. Chase over Jefferson easily based off quarterback play. Like here, I agree. Jefferson goes too low at 7. I'll take him ahead of McCaffrey. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like the Jamar Chase guaranteed quarterback play of Joe Burrow, where we have no idea if McCarthy's going to be any good, you have to take Chase over Jefferson, in my opinion. Okay. Mark Andrews goes 100. We are on the clock. Baker doesn't stack anything for us, but honestly, we're going to take Baker anyway. No, we're going to take Kupp. We'll take Kupp 103. Again, Cooper Kupp in your regular redraft league doesn't matter, but here with no waiver wire, I think that you may end up just having to eat it and get the floor at wide receiver. Never going to sit here and try to sell you on Cooper Kupp being a great option. Like, you won't see me make a single video about Cooper Kupp, like, leading up to the season, because if you're in an ESPN, in a Yahoo draft, realistically speaking, you're just not really seeing Kupp as an option with the ceiling to make a difference. But here in an Underdog basketball league where the wide receivers that you're going to be forced to draft to fill out a wide receiver room of like 7 guys is going to be so gross at the end of the draft that I'm kind of fine just eating it with Cooper Kupp here at 103. Okay. Dak Prescott goes 108. And Kupp has been the wide receiver 24 in points per game over the past 2 seasons. Issue is he hasn't stayed healthy. But he's old as dirt. Like, I didn't even realize how old Cooper Kupp was until like 2 weeks ago. He was drafted also in 2017, that same class we were talking about, like McCaffrey. But Cooper Kupp just came from a super, super small school, so he stayed forever before he came to the NFL. Okay, Bateman goes 111. Justin Fields goes 112. Godwin 113. All right. I think we can take quarterback here. I think we're going to take Caleb Williams to pair up with Rome Odunze. And again, right now, sportsbooks are projecting the Chicago Bears to be the most improved offense in the NFL from 2024 to 2025. You had the Bears scoring the 4th least points in the NFL last season, where right now you actually have sportsbooks telling us that they have, I believe, the 16th highest projection / lowest projection, dead average in the league. So went from bottom 5 to now supposed to be dead average, which technically is the biggest rise that you have in terms of expectations. Okay, J.J. McCarthy goes 119. Jared Goff off 120. And again, just in case you're new here, Underdog basketball drafts, you need to be drafting 2 to 3 quarterbacks. So we're not done taking our QBs. We're still looking at quarterbacks. Okay, Braylon Allen 123. By Shell Tootin goes 125. Let's move this over. So quarterback-wise, Love doesn't stack. Lawrence doesn't stack. Herbert doesn't stack. If we look at the options that could stack later on in this draft for us, there are more Chargers, and y'all know I may or may not like somebody named the Big Q. So we'll take us some Justin Herbert. We'll get some quarterback points locked and loaded. And in the flock tournaments as well, where in week 15, you only have to go up against one person. Week 16, you only have to go up against one person. It's not going to be the end of the world if you don't have your quarterback stacked up. But it looks like we hit 200 likes on the stream. So go down there and drop your flockfantasy.com username in the chat, and we'll pick some people to give out free vouchers to. Every time we hit 100 likes on the stream, we're giving out free vouchers to people. And also hit the like button if you haven't already. So Eckler goes off 130. I was surprised to see how low Eckler was in the projections for week 1. Like, it honestly made me move Eckler down my rankings a bit in comparison to where I initially had him. Okay, so let's pick somebody random. We got Johnny Hoob. Let me see if I can find you. Again, I can only find you on the site if you use code FLOCK. Okay, just found you, my friend. Looks like you got the season pass as well, so you should have already had some free vouchers in your account, but we'll go ahead and we will set you up with some additional ones. So we just sent you over a free starts at free trade question. Thanks for hanging out with us in the stream, my guy. Okay, Dylan Sampson goes 133. And we'll give away another free couple vouchers when we hit 300 likes on the stream. So just let me know. Taylor says, when's the next Flock League vid dropping? Maybe Thursday or Wednesday. What day is it today? Monday? We'll probably try for Thursday. I've just been so busy. They've been talking about the Flock League and stuff in the chat, and I just haven't been able to pay attention because work's been busy. I think we're going to take Trey Benson here. For me, I've been drafting a ton of Benson. I think that in best ball, maybe you get a usable week or two, even with a healthy James Conner. But I think if Conner goes down, Trey Benson does become a super high upside RB2. And we've seen the long list of injuries for James Conner through his NFL career. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this over. All right, Romeo Doubs off at 142. Dallas Goedert goes 143. I like Goddard a lot as well. If we were to take Goddard with Laporta, it just would feel a little bit awkward for me where I don't know if we would want to take a third tight end or not. So honestly, I just don't want to have to use my brain. I didn't want to have to think too much about that. So I was like, we'll just take Trey Benson and move on. Eric says, y'all see the video of Aaron Rodgers doing drills? I did not. I will try to look this up and find it, though. Piqued my interest. Okay, Aaron Rodgers. God, I feel like it's so much harder to use Twitter search now. Yeah, I can't see it. Oh, shoot. And I'm freaking auto drafting Joe Mixon because I'm on the other screen looking for this video of Aaron Rodgers doing drills. And Joe Mixon in these flock tournaments is not a great pick considering the fact that you got to be the highest scoring team, again, in your draft to advance to the playoff tournament. Taking Mixon on a Caleb Johnson team especially, where Caleb Johnson's not going to give us any production at the beginning of the year. And Joe Mixon, we know, is not going to give us any production at the beginning of the season. Not ideal. Now we're getting him here after Nick Chubb, after Jaden Blue. So, like, if Mixon were to come back in week 5, which is a big, big if, it's not the end of the world. Okay. Britton Strange goes 156. Let's move this over. Brandon Ayuk's been falling like a rock here. Ayuk used to go in like round 7. If I didn't have Mixon and Caleb Johnson on the same team, I think I would mix in Brandon Ayuk, but I don't think I can here. I know what wide receiver I would want. Okay, here's my plan A, my plan B. It's Leggett and Tua. If I get Tua to pair up with Achane, cool. If I don't get Tua to pair up with Achane, I'm going to take Leggett. We'll see what this team ahead of us does. Goes Hunter Henry, so we get the option of both players. I'm going to take Tua. Even though I think Leggett's an absolute smash pick here. Y'all know I have Leggett as a top 5 wide receiver for me in terms of total dollars spent in these underdog drafts. I can actually look it up. Let me see exactly where Leggett is if I sort by entry fees on my wide receivers. I have drafted a ton of Xavier Leggett this offseason. Again, another example of like somebody that in a regular redraft league, your ESPN league, Leggett will most likely not matter. He'll just be a waiver wire fill in if you're desperate and you need some wide receiver depth. But in like an underdog best ball draft, you draft Leggett as like a wide receiver 6 and he turns out to be a wide receiver 3, that can really help you win a league. So Leggett is my 3rd most invested into wide receiver. He's my 5th most invested into player, but 3rd most invested into receiver. So sorted by entry fees, number 1 for me is Quentin Johnston, who currently has an ADP of wide receiver 79. Number 2 is Trey Benson. Number 3 is Devonta Smith. Number 4 is Nick Chubb. We really didn't have to pay the premium on Nick Chubb whatsoever. If y'all remember, Nick Chubb was my number 1 running back before the Joe Mixon news. So we just got really lucky there with the Joe Mixon news being worse than the community initially thought. And then we got Xavier Leggett as our 5th option, which we also kind of got lucky with that run out as well, given everything that's happened in Carolina to those wide receivers. Okay, Jerome Ford goes 171. Some of our late round picks here that I want to be taking, I want to take guys that are going to have impacts early. Like, I don't want to take players that are going to be duds early on. Because, again, we already have Joe Mixon, Caleb Johnson on this team. K-Rob says, were you simultaneously fading Jalen Coker? Yeah, let me give you my Coker exposure. Coker, I have in 4.5% of leagues. So we were fading Jalen Coker. Trey Harris stacks with Justin Herbert for us, gives us a wide receiver 6. We literally just talked about not wanting to take wide receivers that aren't going to produce early, but hell, we're going to do it anyway. Let's do it anyway. Mike says Efton Chisholm exposure. So looking at like the regular underdog drafts, not the Eliminator Marathon that are in a different like little player pool in your exposure list. Chisholm, I have 0% of. I have not drafted him a single time. And also, I've not drafted him a single time in any other underdog contest either. And I do not plan on taking him at all. Now, keep in mind, I was also the idiot that did not draft Puka Nacua at all in his rookie season. So should you listen to me? No. But, yeah. Effectively, I have 0.0 Chisholm. Okay, Sam Darnold goes 180. The big Q is taken from us at 181. How dare you? How dare you? And then wide receiver, we have Jefferson, Wilson, Smith, Rome, Kupp, Trey. I think we... Ooh, this is going to be a tough spot. Tough. And I think we're going to be able to get in another flock tournament on Underdog after this. Each flock tournament's a 3-entry max, and I think this is our second one. And then we'll do like a $5 puppy. We're going to take Kate Otten easily. Kate Otten was actually back at practice today. And again, if you were looking at the second surgery for Godwin, if you're looking at the Jalen McMillan injury, it's kind of been the best run out possible for Kate Otten. So we'll take him here at 186. Crystal says, would you rather have Bijan or Saquon? So I had Bijan as my running back one for the majority of the offseason, but I actually changed that over to Saquon Barkley because we had the right tackle going down for the Atlanta Falcons. And Michael Penix is a left-handed quarterback, so that is going to be very important. And if we saw the sportsbook projections for this Atlanta Falcons offense beforehand, they were ranking Atlanta as about an average team in total points scored. And that fell down to I believe they're now like projected to be the 8th worst offense in the league. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Saquon over Bijan. But again, same tier for me. Not going to fault you if you wanted to go one way or another. Mari Cooper goes 194. Ravens Flock says, just got word that there's a Flock video coming out tomorrow. There's not a Flock League video coming out tomorrow. We haven't had a Flock League video in a while. It seems like that channel is actually getting a bunch of views, though, even though we haven't had a video go out in a while. Let me see. What is that channel up to? Elijah Roy goes 196. Yeah, that channel is going to hit 40,000 subscribers by the time the season gets here, which is crazy. Yeah, but the 2025 Fantasy Football Draft Flock League is almost 350,000 views. Theo Johnson off the board. I have no idea what to do here. Not taking Gesicki. Not taking Giddens. I've been taking a lot of Michael Wilson, and I feel bad about it. I'm going to take Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson will never make a difference in your ESPN league. He'll never make a difference in your Yahoo league. But if and this is a big if, he is the true wide receiver 2 in Arizona, which right now nobody's shown me otherwise. I think he is going to make a difference in underdog best ball drafts. I think he'll cover us for some zeros, which in best ball, when you don't have access to the waiver wire, is very, very important. He was one of the worst wide receivers in the NFL last year from an efficiency standpoint. You go ahead and pull this up on flockfantasy.com. The dude was at 1.11 yards per route run. Horrendous. Horrendous. But you did get 3 usable weeks to cover some zeros for you. And if he's going to have the same role this season, I think he'll be okay. And then we're going to take another tight end here. We're going to take either Jawan, Schultz, Ferg, Higbee. Actually, I'll take Higbee over Ferg, considering the contest. I'm not taking Mike Gesicki. I don't know if I've taken Gesicki once since. And if we don't get them, I'll take DJ Giddens or I'll take Justice Hill. Actually, I kind of like Justice Hill here. I'm going to take Justice Hill instead of prepare that Sam Laporta can be the same tight end he was last year. But we just got in another Flock tournament, so let me go ahead and pull that up on the screen. And what pick did we get? We got pick number 12, which I feel like we have not picked at 12 in a while. And 12 is actually a completely fine pick to have. Matt says, does Cortland Sutton blow up this year? Sutton's kind of already blown up. Like, if you look at this, this is the player comparison tool on flockfantasy.com. You go ahead and you put Cortland Sutton into it. Let me show y'all how to use this, just in case you don't know. You can compare multiple players, different timelines, whatever you want to do, different stats. But here, just looking at the basic stats, if we want to look at Cortland Sutton, like weeks 1 through 9, right? So the first half of the season. Versus you want to look at Cortland Sutton weeks 10 through 18, the second half of the year. Cortland Sutton jumped up from 10.9 points per game to 17.4. And a lot of this has to do, obviously, with Bo Nix taking that leap forward as a rookie quarterback. So if you think that this offense is going to be great with Bo Nix going into year 2, then obviously Cortland Sutton does have room to run. So Jefferson off the board at 7. Neighbors goes 8. Puka goes 10. We'll figure out what we can do. Brian Thomas off at 11. I'm going to mix it up in this flock tournament. I don't think there'll be very many teams that do this based off the way that the ADP lines up. And I do kind of like the idea of getting a unique team here over the rest of the field while not sacrificing a ton of upside. So I'm going to mix it up, get a little bit weird, and we are going to take the combination of Ashton Jeanty and Devon Achane. We will go Jeanty and Achane on the same squad. And then obviously once we do this, we are putting ourselves in a position where we really need to be playing catch up at wide receiver in the following rounds. But we'll see if we can do it. We'll see if we can pull it off. And yeah, again, this is like a $10 buy-in, $10,000 first place prize. And if Achane's telling us, hey, I'm going to go week 1, team's telling us, hey, I'm going to go week 1, and he's back at practice, I think taking Achane over London, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chase Brown, Derrick Henry is not a bad thing. Like, we can go through and we can look at, use that same tool, right? Let's throw Devon Achane into the player comparison, and let's look at Achane versus Bijan Gibbs, right? And Barkley, the elite level running backs. And I understand that, like, you look at this on the surface and you go, yeah, Achane got trashed by these guys last year. Achane 17.6 points per game, Gibbs at 21.3, Barkley at 20.1. I'm sorry, Bijan 20.1, Barkley at 22.2. But let's remove the games that Tua didn't play. Tua didn't play like weeks 3 through 8, right? Something along those lines. I don't think Tua played week 16 or 17 either. So these are about the weeks that Tua played. Weeks 1 and 2, weeks 9 through 16. Maybe he played week 8. Do y'all remember? Something along these lines. But anyway, if we take out that stretch of games where Tua didn't play, Achane jumps up to 22.1 points per game. Right in line with the other elite running backs. Like 0.1 points per game less than Saquon Barkley. So we're chasing the ceiling here. And Achane's incredibly young. But it looks like we had 300 likes on the stream. So go down there and drop your flockfantasy.com username in the chat real quick, and we'll hook you up with some free questions on the site for the streams. Prod by Data says, thank you, Mason. My league mates slept on Amari, and I got him in the 4th round. That's incredible. 2 teams in this draft going with 0 wide receivers through the first 3 rounds. You got the team at 3 and the team at 4. 0 receivers. So there are going to be a couple teams in this league that are playing catch up a wide receiver just like we are. That team at 6 also going 0 wide receivers through the first 3 rounds. This is going to be an exciting draft. Okay, let's go 9-3 times. 9-3 times. This is a weird ass username, but found you, my guy. Looks like you got a free account on the site, so shouldn't have had any free vouchers yet, but we just sent some over to you. So if you want to send any questions on the stream when we're doing those live Q&As, be happy to answer them for you. Thanks for hanging out on the stream with us. Okay, JSN goes 32, Tyreek off 31. Harrison goes 33. So we are very much just wide receiver here at the turn if we can get it. Evans goes, oh, I would have loved Evans. I can't take, well, you're just going to take Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams and be very boring about this. In your regular redraft league, for the love of God, do not take Garrett Wilson over George Kittle. Go George Kittle. Do not take Devontae Adams over George Kittle. Go George Kittle. But here in Underdog Basketball Drafts, from a roster construction perspective, you can't afford to fall that far behind at wide receiver. Again, no access to the waiver wire. The position's actually not that deep in best ball the way that it is in some regular redraft leagues. So, a little bit different with the strategy here positionally, but we can go ahead and we can take the wide receivers. Maybe we should have just reached to get our 2 guys that I prefer that I've been drafting all offseason at a discount with Xavier Worthy and Terry McLaurin. But we are underweight Devontae Adams and underweight Garrett Wilson. So, I mean, we can kind of balance it out. We have a lot of Xavier Worthy. Volaire says, can you show the Flock League team rankings again? Yeah, I mean, I can give you all the league ID for the Flock League if you want to connect it to your account on the site as well. But here's the Flock League rankings according to the expert average ranks. Currently in at the 3 spot. Got a lot of running back value. Don't have much wide receiver. And obviously you can go through and you can adjust based off what creator you value. If you want to look at my rankings, you can do that. And obviously, I'm going to have a lot of players that I have higher in my rankings than the expert average. So if you use my rankings, I jump to the number 1 spot. But let me know if y'all want the league ID, and I'll give you the league ID so you can link the Flock League to your My Teams page if you wanted to track it there. And we're actually about to have on that My Teams page, if you see where this empty space is on the right-hand side, we're going to pull in the trades that are made in your league automatically and grade them out with the trade calculator automatically. So it'll be really cool. And obviously that's not just for the Flock League. You can do that with your own league too. Swifty says, can you give me a quick best ball rundown? I'm about to do an underdog draft. So best ball, because you have no waiver wire and because, again, it submits the best starting lineup for you at the end of every single week. General rule of thumb is roster construction really matters. You need 2 to 3 quarterbacks. You need 2 to 3 tight ends. You need about 5 or 6 running backs. In some crazy scenarios, you only draft 4. In some crazy scenarios, you can draft up to 7. Like this team that starts Barkley, Bucky, Hampton, James Cook, I would only take 4 if I were them. But 99.99% of the time, you take at least 5. And then the rest of your spots are going to be wide receivers, and you want as many wide receivers as possible because they can give you those volatile high spike weeks. Deluxe5 says, give us the link. So I can't give you the link is just flockfantasy.com. Just go to the My Teams page. Chuba Hubbard goes 58. All you need is the sleeper ID. I'll send the sleeper ID in the chat right now, and you can put that in the My Teams page, and you should be able to connect it. There you go. I just put the league ID for our sleeper league in the Quinshawn Judkins in the 5th. We got Nathan in our draft. We're going to continue to play catch up a wide receiver. We're going to take Zay Flowers and Ricky Pearsall. And Nathan is in. And Nathan Schmidt, happy to see you, my friend. Happy to see you. But yeah, if you copy and paste that league ID into the My Teams page to link a sleeper team, you should be good to link your team with the site. Okay. Aaron says they automatically set your lineup, or can you adjust it? They automatically set your lineup at the end of the week, right? So say I were to go through and I were to want to submit my week 1 lineup. And I think that hey, Garrett Wilson, Avante Adams, Zay Flowers are going to be my best options. And I go through and I submit that. But then Zay Flowers as a bum ankle and Ricky Pearsall blows up with 2 receiving touchdowns. He'll automatically slide into your starting lineup. So your best possible starting lineup gets submitted for you at the end of every single week. It's not like Underdog predicts who it's going to be before the week. It's after. And I mean, during the week. It's live updated. Tyler says, when do you do team reviews? Every single day during the live Q&As. So I did 5 hours of team reviews earlier on the live stream today. And now we are taking a little bit of a break to do some drafts because I'm going to be honest with you. I have more fun doing these draft streams than I do doing the live Q&A streams. These draft streams are legitimately my favorite things in the world. Love them. Not going to say I don't like the live Q&As. I like the live Q&As, but I love these draft streams, and I can only do them for 3 more days until the season's here. 4 more days, whenever it is. So I got to be getting in as many as I can. Okay. And then once the season starts, we won't be doing any more live drafts, we'll just be doing the live Q&As. Mark says, how many leagues can you add to the My Teams page on flockfantasy.com? I'd imagine almost like if you have a membership, I'd imagine almost like an infinite amount. I don't know if the devs block it if you're like a free account after so many. But Peter asking if we're wearing the Underdog and Flock shirt right now. We are just repping an Underdog shirt right now. If you see me in real life, you will 100% see that. I'm like, everywhere I go, I just wear an Underdog shirt. Like the way that these Underdog shirts fit, they're perfect. Okay, Matt says, when are you doing another Ironman? I've been talking so my little brother's actually getting into Ironman stuff now. So I did an Ironman last year. I was going to do Ironman Lake Placid this year, but then I did the 100-mile ultra marathon, jacked my body up. So I bailed on Ironman Lake Placid because I did the 100-mile ultra marathon like a couple weeks before I would have done Ironman Lake Placid. We're going to take, I kind of like the tight ends. I'm going to take Hawk and Aaron Jones. I think we've done an okay job catching up at wide receiver just a bit with Wilson, Adams, Flowers, and Pearsall. I think we have a little flexibility here. But so we did the 100-mile race. Wrecked my body. I was like, you know what? I just kind of want to get back feeling good. So we didn't do Ironman Lake Placid. But my younger brother's getting into Ironman stuff now. He's doing a 70.3 next month, I think. So, or maybe like 3 or 4 weeks from now. Not that far from now. But if he really likes it, I think we're probably going to do an Ironman together. And I may do IM Texas in April. Because I think this is the first year that it doesn't line up with like the NFL draft weekend. Which if it doesn't line up with the NFL draft weekend, that'll be perfect. Because the issue is like the majority of like Ironman races are from like August through like October, November, or whatever, like in line with my busy football season. Like the only times I could realistically do it are like April, May, June. So there aren't that many options for me. But let's see. Ian says, Mason, is that the same Underdog shirt you wore with the pick with Bijan? That pick's saved to my desktop, right? Where is that? There are 2 Underdog shirts. One's like a neon yellow. This is like a mustard yellow. Which did I wear with Bijan? Yep, this is the same shirt that I wore with the Bijan pick. And that's actually not DK Metcalf standing with Bijan Robinson. That's actually yours truly with Bijan. And, oh, what's this as well? Oh, that's me with my guy again. Ooh. Yes, those are saved to my desktop. Crypto says every YouTuber is pumping Igbokwe. Yeah, I mean, great prospect, great situation. And the like regular redraft sites had him way too low in ADP. Lightning says, Mason, do you think I made a mistake not taking a running back in the first 2 rounds? Depends on what you did in the rest of the draft, and it depends on your league settings. Rocco says, Mason, what do you think the odds are that Igbokwe finishes better than Evans? 30%. Not that high. Jaden Higgins goes 102. Let's move this around. Let's see. Did we make a massive mistake in going Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson at picks 85 and 84? Shaheed goes 103. Caleb goes 104. God, it's embarrassing that I've drafted Kupp the way that I have. Let me see how much Cooper Kupp that I have because it's embarrassing. I feel like I've drafted Cooper Kupp so much and I just finally learned like, oh no, this dude's not 30. This dude's like 32. ETN off. I've Kupp in 13% of my drafts. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield and Darnell Mooney and say who gives a damn about the stack here. Smaller field contest. This is a flock tournament. This isn't a puppy. Weeks 15, 16, you only have to go up against one other person. I think Baker Mayfield can give us a pretty high score for that. So easy Baker Mayfield pick. I think he helps us advance to the tournament. I think he scores a lot of points in the regular season. Okay, so now quarterback, we have Baker Mayfield. Running back, I have Ashton Jeanty, Devon Achane, Aaron Jones. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Zay Flowers, Ricky Pearsall, Darnell Mooney. Tight end, TJ Hawkinson. I would hate this team if it was a regular redraft league, especially if you started like 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, and you had to figure out which wide receivers you were going to get into your starting lineup. It would be like impossible. But here, with this being an Underdog Best Ball draft, I think that these wide receivers should be able to cycle through our slots, and it won't be the worst thing in the world. Move this over. And this is probably the most I've live streamed. This is definitely the most I've live streamed since last year. We'll go for like 2 hours today, 5 hours earlier today. I mean, 2 hours in this one, 5 hours earlier today. And I recorded 2 videos today. And I had to edit one of the videos today because the editor was asleep. So we grinded. Today was the best day I've had and I still have energy right now. Tomorrow it's probably going to wreck me, but tomorrow I only have to record 1 video. I don't have to edit it. And we're going to do like a crazy long live Q&A as well. Like, again, so I don't know if I showed y'all or you saw on the previous stream, but obviously we're doing like the team reviews, answering start set questions, trade questions, all the stuff that we do through the site. And I've been live for like 4 hours and I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm making really good progress with these team reviews. Hopefully I don't have that many waiting on me. And I went through and counted how many I had like in the queue waiting. And there were 100 team reviews waiting still. And I'd been live for 4 hours already today. And I had been live streaming for like 4 hours every day for the past week. So I turned off team reviews on the site where you can't buy team reviews from me anymore. I will eventually turn them back on. It's probably not going to be tomorrow. It'll probably be in 2 or 3 days. But I needed to be able to catch up on all the reviews that people have. Is I like just mentally for me to like stream for 5 hours and then have more team reviews waiting for me than there were before I started streaming. It's going to make me go crazy. So we turned them off. If you try to go get a team review, there's not a glitch. I'll be grayed out because I manually did it, but I'll let you know in the stream if we turn them back on. But we're still good with the start set questions, super messages, and trade questions are still on because those are easy for me to answer quickly. And we're going to be just going through. I'm still going to be reviewing teams every single day in the stream, but it's just going to be the ones that were already submitted. And then hopefully tomorrow, if I do another 5 hours, I can narrow it down and get it down to like 50 team reviews waiting for me. And if I do another 5 hours the next day, we can narrow it down again. And maybe turn it back on at like the end of the stream. Okay. Lawrence goes 129. If we were looking at stacking options here, Goff does nothing for us, but honestly, small field contest. We're going to take an unstacked Goff. He's just going to score the most points. And we're going to have to focus in on a quarterback stack late. God damn. Oh, like what could we possibly do here with this pick? I don't know. I don't know. This team's busted. We'll take Herbert. We're going to have a ton of quarterback points between Baker, Goff, and Herbert. I guess we can go like Isaac Tesla, Trey Harris, and the big Q. And then for Baker Mayfield, we can go like Kate Otten and send up a prayer that somehow that does something for us. But we're probably cooked. Abraham says, how can I upload my ESPN team without the extension? I've got only my iPad. Have you tried doing it with the extension on the iPad? Matt says, do most of the Flock League members live in Texas? The Flock League members are international. Let me pull a picture up from the Flock League real quick. So, Flock League. What's cool is if I search Flock League, the top result is Flock League draft party. I know it was a draft party, but so if we look at this, where's the thumbnail for? Okay. So this is the thumbnail for the Flock League. This is Zach from Australia, Thomas, the editor of this channel, from the West Coast. I don't want to dox all these people. This is Nick, the editor of the Flock League channel from Canada, Danny from Canada, Nathan from Indianapolis, Corey from Canada, Badaki from Australia, Sal from Texas, Avery from Indianapolis. One of the developers on flockfantasy.com, not going to dox them, on the East Coast. 3 other developers on flockfantasy.com, not going to dox them, they're on the East Coast. And then yours truly in Texas. So they're everywhere. And then also the fan, I didn't even see him in there. But the fan is also from Canada. So there are 4 people from Canada in the Flock League, 2 people from Australia, and then 4 from the East Coast, 1 from the West Coast, 2 from Indianapolis, and 2 from Texas. So there are only 2 of us in Texas. And then obviously the 4 developers share one team. So that's why there are so many people. Okay. Bryce Young goes 152. Thank God we see the quarterbacks going so we don't just continue to take L's by taking these QBs. I know we're plan A here if we can get them. Najee Harris goes 154. The best pick here is Xavier Legette easily. I mean, it doesn't really correlate with their team, but I don't care. It's the best pick. And we'll go Trey Harris to pretend that, like, oh, we're getting a stack. Please don't hate me. Don't ridicule me too much. But Legette's the best player in this. Josh says 4 Canadians is crazy. Not going to lie. It is crazy. I was saying that, like, there are more people that live in California than Canada. The odds that we have 4 Canadians in the Flock League and 0 people from California. When, like, obviously is about fantasy football. NFL fantasy football. Like, what are the odds of that? Jason says, how many trades did he make in the Flock League last year, and how trade active is the league? Pretty damn active. I made last year in the league. I wonder if I can pull this up and look at the history. I know I made a trade right after week 1. Traded away Amari. Got like Javonte and Hollywood. It was right before Hollywood got announced on the IR. It was horrible. I traded with Sal for DK Metcalf. I traded with Danny, which was a horrible, horrible trade. Gave him Nico Collins for scraps before the season started, after I took Nico Collins in round 2. So I traded with Sal, I traded with Bush, I traded with Danny. What else did we... What other trades were there? There were a lot of trades from the other people. The devs traded with themselves a couple times. Let me see. Go to transactions. Trades. Okay, so here were all the Flock League trades last year. I'm not going to include like the Tyler Lockett's for Amir Abdullah trades. Here's, okay. Oh, you can see trade by league member. Oh, this is cool. So there were 22 trades in the Flock League last year. Bush made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bush made 6 of them. Avery made 1, and it was just where he ripped off Nathan. Danny made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Danny made 9. And Danny's made 3 trades already in the league this year. – 1, 2, 3, 4. Zach made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nathan made 1. I made more than I thought. I made 1 with Danny, 1 with Corey, another with Danny, 1 with Sal, 1 with the Dev, and another with Sal. And then the devs and editors traded within themselves a bit. I'm not going to go through all theirs. But yeah, so there were a bunch of trades that happened last year. So Isaiah Likely goes 176. We need 2 running backs and 2 tight ends, so our stacks are like toast. Keaton Mitchell goes 178. So we're going to go Chig and Cade Otton and pretend that like, oh, Cade Otton and Baker Mayfield's going to be the combo you need to win the tournament in week 17. Reality is, man, probably is not happening for us. And then we're going to just queue up 2 running backs. And we're going to hop in a $5 draft. I'm actually going to get on that my phone real quick, and then we'll pull it up on the computer. So right now, Safari's blocking my location. And if you, by the way, if you wanted to draft on Underdog, I don't know if I said this earlier, but you do have to be in one of these states. And it's not like, oh, you can get around with it with the VPN or something. No, it's like legit. Underdog's fully regulated. So if like anything on your device is blocking a location, they're not going to let you in a draft. They have to make sure that you're in one of these states. I'm in Texas, so obviously I can get Underdog drafts. I'm pretty damn sure you can as well. They're available in like 90+% of the states, and they're available in all the big ones. But Safari sometimes blocks my location for whatever reason. So sometimes, like right now, I'm having to enter in on my phone, which I just got in a puppy draft on my phone, and then I have to pull it up on the computer. Okay. Harold Fannin goes 187. I have not really taken any Harold Fannin. I don't plan on it either. So I'm just going to queue up some running backs. I don't like this team. I don't think it was good. I mean, it wasn't horrible. Like, I think it can advance to the playoff tournament. I think it can get to week 17, honestly. I think it can score a lot of points. It's just like the stacking options aren't really there for us to see like for us to win a tournament in week 17. Because like if Baker Mayfield goes nuclear, you're probably going to need Chris Godwin or Mike Evans or Buka. If Goff goes nuclear, you're probably going to need Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, or Sam Laporta. If Justin Herbert goes nuclear, you're probably going to need Ladd McConkey, right? And we don't have any of those options with these quarterbacks. So if like Baker goes nuclear again, cool, I can get Baker Mayfield score. But in week 17, when there's 99 other people I got to play against, if somebody else has Baker Mayfield and they also have Chris Godwin, I'm just going to lose to them, right? So let's just queue up a bunch of running backs. Miller, Hunt, Giddens, Brooks, Dameon Pierce, Brashad Smith, Justice Hill, Miles Sanders, Jarquez Hunter, Emmanuel Wilson, and then nobody else is interesting. So we'll just queue up all these guys. And let's go ahead and let me get into another draft real quick. So we are in the puppy. We are on the clock now with pick 6. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to start this off the same way that we started the first draft off in the stream. We are going to take Justin Jefferson. Steve says, weirdest thing, I work right near a military base and they scramble the location anytime I'm at work and it puts me in a banned state. Well, that's brutal, my friend. But yeah, that's why I think it's just like a Safari thing that I have. What I realistically need to do is just log into Google Chrome, but I've been too lazy. Okay. T-Pal says, if you consider not using Safari, LOL. I have considered it, but I'd have to reset my Underdog password because I don't remember it. And that would take me a good 3 minutes. So I'm a little, I should, but it looks like we had 400 likes on the stream. So go down there and drop your flockfantasy.com username in the chat and we'll get you all set up with some free questions. Okay, so Jacobs goes at 14 in this one. The Puka Jacobs combo is definitely going to be very unique, so I like mixing that in. Anyway, let me change the buy-in amount. This is a $5 puppy. And I think the majority of the drafts we're going to be getting in on the live stream until the season starts will be the $5 puppy drafts, which, to be honest with you, if you are new to Underdog, that's what I'd probably recommend anyway. We got Jackson Wave. We'll get set up with some free questions on the site. Let me see if I can find you. And if I can, we'll get some stuff sent over your way. Okay. Chase Brown goes right before us. What are we going to get? We'll take AJ Brown. I'm not going to be surprised at all if AJ Brown outscores Drake London now that you have the offensive line being degraded in Atlanta. Jackson, I found you. Looks like you got the season pass already, so you should have some free vouchers in your account as is, but I'll make sure we send you some more over. So hopefully you're set up for the majority of the year. But it looks like you've been a member on the site since 2023 as well. So thank you for sticking with me for so long, my guy. We got Amari Hampton going at 23. Lad McConkey goes 24. I mean, we start wide receiver, so we have a lot of flexibility. Like, running backs are easy to come by on Underdog, so like I'm never stressing like, oh my gosh, I'm really needing a running back here. Okay, T. Higgins goes 26. Mike Evans off the board. Oh, we'll take the elite quarterback. Let me just triple check. Yeah, who else would we take? We're gonna yeah, we'll take Allen. Only hesitation is like, oh, you got AJ Brown. You can get the easy stack with Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, with Jalen Hurts in the fourth, but like Kyron, maybe we could have made an argument for. Trey McBride, we could have made an argument for, but like Marvin Harrison, I'm not taking him over Josh Allen. There's just no way. I'm not doing it. And, ooh, I have a special surprise plan for y'all. I forgot to tell y'all about this. But we have a special guest in the live stream. The #1 fantasy football guru expert that makes all my rankings for me, that I rip off all the time, is now at the door knocking to come in. Come on, get in here. Come on. You ready to give us your secrets? Who are your most draft players? All right, who do you got? Who do you got? Come on. Tell us. Tell us. Get him. Tell us. She doesn't like the microphone, but all right. I know. But we have Jaden Daniels off the board at 36. Lamar Jackson goes 35. So Lamar made it all the way down pretty far. So you have the elite quarterbacks falling both with Allen and Lamar. Well, the girlfriend's out of town, so the dog's feeling a little lonely. And the brother's asleep by now. He's got to wake up early for work. Do you need to go outside? Is that it? We'll go after this. Garrett Wilson off the board at 38. Terry goes 37. Yeah, this is the true underdog. I'm not going to lie to y'all. The majority of the time I am live streaming, we have a dog under my desk. So I am brand loyal to Underdog. Devontae Adams, 41. Let's move this over. Are we going to get Trevion? If we don't get Trevion, I'm going to reach for Kenneth Walker. Plan A, plan B here. Who are you going to give us? Trevion goes, so we're going to take Kenneth Walker. When we don't have a running back yet, I'm very easily going to take Kenneth Walker over like Jamison Williams and George Pickens. I think we're the other guys that have ADPs ahead of Walker. We got Cortland Sutton going 45. Yeah, so that team at 3 went 0 receivers through the first 3 rounds. So you assume that they just slam wide receivers after this. Jalen Hurts goes 47. RJ Harvey off 48. So this used to be very easy to do, and it's why Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith, like Jalen Hurts is my most invested into quarterback. Devonta Smith is my second most invested into receiver. It's because you used to be able to get them with a 4-5 turn all the time together. Okay, DJ Moore goes 53. I'll take Brees in round 5. I'll be the sucker. I will be the sucker. God dang, my lower back is hurting. Yeah, I mean, Brees Hall in round 5 doesn't feel horrible. Loses Mason. Does Nate have that dog in him? Browns are in the dog pound. That one fell flat, my friend. You usually got some good jokes in you, but that one, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't really get it. Rocco says, Mason, how do you feel about Chipotle steak? So I typically go to this place called Cabo Bob's, which is like a local Chipotle in Austin. Best place ever. So I don't go to, and then also I'll go to Cava. Cava, we talk about this all the time, but it's like I'm passionate about this stuff. I mean, this is what I'm in. This is what I'm in it for. But Cava is like Chipotle, Mediterranean. It's not everywhere, but it's in every major city. And if you go to a location that has like bad management, it's not good. But if you go to a location that's good, like well run, it is by far and away the best, like fast casual dining. Chipotle, you kind of go every Chipotle is the same. But Cava, it's like kind of hit or miss. Highly recommend Cava. But so really, I don't go to Chipotle that often. I go to Cava and like more local place called Cabo Bob's. But I went to Chipotle like maybe 6 months ago or so. And it was like they were doing their brisket, I think. Which, like, I live in Austin, Texas, which is supposed to be the best brisket place ever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying it is. It doesn't matter to me. But I eat brisket a lot. And I was so impressed by the Chipotle brisket bowl. I was like, oh my gosh, Chipotle, this is delish. This is delicious. Now, John says Qdoba. So the devs on flockfantasy.com love Qdoba. They get it all the time. But to be honest with you, I've only had Qdoba once. It's not really an Austin thing. It used to be on campus, and I went one time. And all it seemed like to me was Chipotle with Taco Bell ingredients. It was like you went to a Chipotle, but they ran out of food. So they had to hit up the Taco Bell next to them. And they were like, hey, can you give us everything we need? Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's what Qdoba was like to me. I'm going to take Sam Laporta here at tight end. Again, I'll be the sucker taking the tight end in the middle rounds that but here, I mean, Tyler Warren's going ahead of Sam Laporta. I can take Sam Laporta at pick 78. Like Sam Laporta outscores Khalil Shakir. Colin says, I would go to Cabo Bob's more often if it was a lot closer than random parts of Austin. Yeah, for me, I live somewhat closest to a Cabo Bob's. I live like halfway between two of them. And so it's not that hard for me to go. but it's good. Double fish is the best thing there. But let me know in the chat in general, what is your favorite chain restaurant / fast food / casual dining? Something I'm going to know. I don't have to have eaten there before. But Sporta says Qdoba's to Chipotle as Rashi is to Jetta's. We got Chipotle, McDonald's, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A. Here is the go-to, all right? I try to be healthy when I can. I'm not really healthy. I eat like a pig the majority of the time. But I have like a couple things that like are healthy that I'll eat that I think are really good. Chick-fil-A breakfast. Okay. Hawkinson goes 89. Hear me out on this. Next time you go, if you need something to pick up for breakfast tomorrow, and you want to get something that's quick, you want to get something that's somewhat cheap, not going to say it's the cheapest, but somewhat cheap. Well, we're going to take Khalil Shakir to pair up with Josh Allen. Like, Shakir falls 8 picks, past ADP, and we get the stack, easy pick. This is what you do. Go to Chick-fil-A. You get the egg white grill. It's a grilled chicken patty. It's like these they're not egg McMuffins, whatever these things are called. English muffins on top of them. Egg whites, a slice of American cheese. The American cheese melts all over it. Is it as good as the regular like chicken minis? No. But it's actually like some of the healthiest fast food you can get. And it is delicious. And if you put if you put too much Chick-fil-A sauce on it, then all of a sudden there's no point in trying to get something healthy. But put a little Chick-fil-A sauce on it, just a hint. It only gets better. You know what Chick-fil-A breakfast, Mr. Trog, because people sleep on Chick-fil-A breakfast. Chick-fil-A breakfast used to, oh my gosh, did I tell you all my infinite? Okay, I'm going to tell you all how I hacked Chick-fil-A when I was in college. I think we're past the statute of limitations. But one thing that Chick-fil-A used to have that was delicious for breakfast, they got rid of it, is, do y'all remember this? They had a bagel Chick-fil-A sandwich. It was like a fried chicken, egg, American cheese on a bagel. That thing was to die for. Loveland goes 101, but they got rid of it. Not enough of y'all got it. I still blame you for that. We're going to take Jaden Higgins. I mean, we don't really need any positions here. We can just take the faller. But anyway, so I got set up so good in college. Whenever I was in college, I'm sure not all of y'all, but a bunch of people here probably used GroupMe back in the day. GroupMe was like a really crappy Discord, essentially. Horrible Discord. Like, can't even believe how bad it is in comparison to Discord now, looking back on it. But I was in like a UT buy, sell, hold, not buy, sell, hold. It was just like buy, sell, GroupMe. So when people were looking to sell things, they would post it in the GroupMe, and you would see if you wanted to buy it. Somebody posted that they were looking to sell free, like this is when Chick-fil-A just kind of was like doing the app first thing, blah, blah, blah. Free Chick-fil-A sandwich coupons. So they had like somehow somebody at UT like got like unlimited Chick-fil-A sandwiches for free. So I paid them like $100 for like 200 free Chick-fil-A sandwiches. So like almost every single day I was able to go to Chick-fil-A. I had a little different QR code. I would show the QR code, scan it, and it would be a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. It was beautiful. But sadly, I've never had something like that again. But it was a good setup in college. It didn't last that long. Marvin Mims goes 113. And again, please, if the police are watching, know that I would never do something like that now. I'm a changed man. We could take Justin Fields, get the stack with Brees. The other options that we're going to have a quarterback later, I guess you go CJ Stroud, but am I that excited to take like Tucker Kraft here? Probably not. We're going to go with Justin Fields. But now when we have Allen and Fields, we're not taking a third quarterback. And obviously in your regular redraft league, you take Josh Allen, you don't take a third quarterback after that. Lank Dog says Voodoo Donuts. So there's a Voodoo Donuts on 6th Street, which is like the big drinking street on Austin. It's also where Rogan's Club is. I'm sure y'all know about Rogan's Club. Probably heard that before. But there's a big Voodoo Donuts there. And I thought for the longest time that Voodoo Donuts was like, it was like a standalone thing. There was no Voodoo Donuts anywhere else in the country. And it was like an Austin thing. And then it took me forever to realize, like, I think it was maybe when we went and stayed in LA for the beginning of the year because, like I said, the lady was working on a movie. And I saw Voodoo Donuts there and I was like, wait, they have it here too? She was like, yeah, what'd you think? Was this an Austin thing? I was like, yeah. Josiah says, any advice if I were to do my first best ball when I do the puppy? So roster construction is going to be way more important than your regular fantasy football league. So like typically your regular fantasy football league, you just keep taking values, right? It's like, hey, I can play the waiver wire. I can possibly make a trade, right? I just want to make sure I have the most value coming out of my draft. But for best ball, since you can't make trades and your roster is locked the second that you are done drafting, we'll take Tucker Kraft. Thank you very much. You need to draft 2 to 3 quarterbacks. You need to draft 2 to 3 tight ends. The majority of drafts that you're in, you'll take 5 to 6 running backs, and then the rest of your spots will be wide receiver. So that's going to be the most important thing to understand. I would also say if you're going to be in the puppy, it's going to be very important for you to try to pair up your quarterbacks with your wide receivers if your quarterbacks don't have a lot of rushing upside. So like Justin Fields is somebody that you don't exactly need with Garrett Wilson, because if Fields is going to have like a crazy week in the finals, he could do it with 100 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, right? Where it's not like Garrett Wilson drops 35 points for sure. But if you're like sitting with Jared Goff, like the mistake we made in the last draft, right, is we had Jared Goff and we didn't have like any of the pass catchers, where if Goff is going to go nuclear and he's the guy that wins a tournament, you probably either need Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, or Amon-Ra St. Brown to also go nuclear. So I'd recommend stacking is going to be more important in these underdog drafts. But Lank Dog says, for real, DQ meal, $7 meal deal is fire. There's a DQ near my house. I've not had Dairy Queen in forever. Let's see, what is the DQ $7 meal deal? Okay. Dallas Goedert off the board. We're done at tight end. We're done at quarterback. We're not taking any of these guys. I think we're going to take Trey Benson. We'll go Benson as our third running back. And again, horrible to ever say this out loud, but if there were to be a James Conner injury this year, I'll be a pretty rich man. Okay. $7 meal deal. Choose 3-piece chicken strips or cheeseburger. You get cheeseburger, fries, ice cream, and a drink. My thing is, I never do meals. If I ever go to like if I go to Chick-fil-A as an example, I don't do a meal. I only drink water. I don't drink soda. So I go, like, depends on how hungry I am. When we did after we did the Flock League, like, determining draft order, I hadn't eaten all day. So go to Chick-fil-A, take 3 spicy Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Normally, it's only 2, but it's like, I'm a guy where I just do 2 sandwiches whenever I go somewhere. I'm not doing fries and a drink. Torsten says, hey, Mason, I have a lot of respect for your goals in sports. Ironman, 100-mile ultramarathon. What's next on your list? Next on the list is try to get faster at doing them, to be honest. because how I've done all my training for like the Ironman and the 100-mile ultra marathon was like just, I like running for an example. I only ever like track like, oh, okay, I ran this many miles this week. And like just try to go more and more and more and more miles. Where I never like did any speed work, which is like if anybody's like actually knows what they're doing, which I don't, but I've talked to people who do. They say that's like a super important element to what you have to do. So this year I'm going to try to like keep the same volume that I've done, but I'm going to try to working on some speed because I've always just gone super, super slow on my runs, which like for reference, like my normal run, I'll run it like when it's super hot outside in Austin right now, I'm going and I'm running like 9-minute, 30-second miles, which like it's obviously it's all subjective if that's fast or slow. But I'll run like 9-minute, 30-second miles on my training times. And then whenever I did the LA marathon, I ran the marathon in 2 hours and 55 minutes. So like my actual marathon pace was like 6 minutes and something, 6 minutes, I don't remember how many seconds. But like 3 minutes faster than I'm running when I'm just doing regular training. So goal this next year is, can I just get faster? Especially if my brother's going to do an Ironman with me. I need to be faster to like be able to, he's my little brother. I can't have him beat me. And he's already way stronger than me, way taller than me, way bigger than me. I at least have to be faster than him. Yeah, but he is like, I'm going to show you, I'll show you all a picture of him. He goes to FSU and obviously went to that Bama game. And do we take Joe Mixon if he makes this a 163? I don't love Mixon in the Flock League tournaments because, again, you have to be the highest scoring team in your 12-team draft. But actually, this is the puppy. F it. I'm going to take him. The puppy, you can just get away with chasing the highest ceiling possible in weeks 15 through 17. So, yeah, Mixon's the pick here. But, yeah, so my brother they went, rushed the field, blah, 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 and then he went partying on Saturday night, like after the FSU Bama game. And and then he sent me this picture of him standing next to Dalvin Cook. And the dude's a freaking monster, you can tell. He's mogging Dalvin Cook here. And he said that Dalvin Cook came up and tapped him up on the shoulder to dab him up. I was like, yeah, I'm sure Dalvin Cook came up to you to dab you on the shoulder. And he was like, no, he actually did, because my brother was wearing the Dalvin Cook jersey. So I went over there. But anyway, if he's doing the Ironman, he's already bigger and stronger than me. I gotta smoke him. All right, Isaiah Likely off 169. So we have 5 running backs at this point. Our running backs are Walker, Brees, and then like 3 backups / injured guys. So we're going to take another running back. So I like how we got to show off a picture of the brother with Alvin, a picture with me with Bijan today. Pat Bryant goes 173. I think we can go Jerome Ford. I like pairing up Ford and Mixon specifically. Because the expectations with Ford is you have a role at the beginning of the year, but Dylan Sampson's eventually going to take over and or Quinshon Judkins. And then the thesis, if you're drafting Joe Mixon here, is like, yeah, I know I'm going to get nothing through the first 4 weeks, but maybe, just maybe, he comes back in week 5, and then all of a sudden we're live to have a ceiling in the final 3 weeks of the season. But we just need to get to the playoffs at that point. So Justice Hill goes 179. Horton goes 180. So we're just going to take probably 3 wide receivers at the end. Like when we have Laporta and Kraft, we're good at wide receiver. We're good at tight end. We have Allen and Fields. We're good at quarterback. Running back, we have Kenneth Walker, Brees, Trey Benson, Ray Davis, Joe Mixon. We're good there. And wide receiver, we're not even bad. We have Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Chris Olave, Khalil Shakir, Jaden Higgins. I love our team. This is the best team we've had on the live stream. Chris Rodriguez goes 183. Or 184, I apologize. We're not going to take Jalen Coker on the IR. I think he was kind of a stretch to be going in the 160s anyway. I think now he's just undraftable. You're allowed to make fun of me. You do you. I'm going to do me. We'll take the big Q here. 187, Quentin Johnston, taking him like right before Troy Franklin, Amari Cooper, Michael Wilson. I'm going to be okay with it. I will be okay with it. God dang, my back is freaking killing me. And if I sit at the desk all day like I did today, when I go to sleep, my lower back hurts. So it's not going to make my hips hurt. So hopefully I can sleep well tonight. But usually if I'm able to just get out there and move a little bit, I sleep perfectly fine. But like today I was at this desk from the time I woke up to the time I'm going to go to bed. So I already know it's not going to be the best. I have a standing desk, to be honest with you. I just never use it. I'm too lazy. I need to get it. And we just hit 500 likes on the stream. So go down there and drop your flockfantasy.com username in the chat, and I will pick somebody here to win some free vouchers. Mike Gesicki goes 196. Who do we want at receiver? I don't want Malik Washington. I'll take Alec Pierce. I'm not taking Jalen Coker. And let's see if we can find somebody in the chat here to give something. We got Bomb Trady. I don't think we've sent anything over to you. Let me see if I can find you on the site. I cannot find you on the site, my friend. I can only find you on flockfantasy.com on my users page if you use code FLOCK. So we'll move to the next person. We got McDoust. Doused. All right, found you. Looks like a free account, so shouldn't have had any free vouchers yet, but we just got some sent over your way. Appreciate you, my friend. Raymond McLeod goes 203. Jackson Dart off the board as well. Harold Fannin 204. And wide receiver. We could go like Adonai Mitchell and go, what happens if like Pittman's just complete dusted? Or Downs hamstrings flares up and you get Alec Pierce and Adonai on the field at the same time? Jalen Coker goes 208. Terrence Ferguson 209. What do we want here? I think we're going to mix in Adonai. Take 80 Mitchell and Alec Pierce in the same squad. Probably not ideal, but we're going to do it. But I think that's it for the stream. I'm probably going to try to take the dog outside again because I need to make sure she's got in the bathroom. She wakes me up in the middle of the night. I'm going to lose my mind. And we're going to be drafting teams on Underdog again tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. You don't have too much longer, though, to get them in. Again, these are best ball. Not going to replace your main fantasy football league. Just some extra fun on the side. No time commitment at all during the year. And I do want to reiterate that now is the most important time to check out Underdog Fantasy. The reason being, one, they have those $5 tournaments out. But two, the promos that they've been doing are the strongest now than they will be all year. First, use code FLOCK. After you play your first $5, you're going to get $50 added into your account. Second thing is, if you look at the Pick'em schedule, they have specials dropping every single day for opening week. It's not always this way. You get Saquon Barkley with the free Pick'em on Thursday. Higher, lower, half a total yard. 50% profit boost on token on Thursday. 50% profit boost token on Friday. 100% profit boost token drops on Saturday for you to use on Sunday. And on top of that, if you got the season pass or your annual mother flocker on flockfantasy.com, make sure you go out there and make sure that you fill out this form for the $10 underdog credit. So all you got to do is put in your flockfantasy.com email address and your underdog username, hit submit, and you're going to get $10 out in your underdog account in a couple weeks as well. So deposit $10 and you'll have, 70 in your account. Can't beat it. It's never going to be like this again. So take advantage of it. Links in the description, comment section, live chat. We'll be streaming tomorrow, live Q&As and drafts. But I appreciate y'all.